Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. This is coming out so late. I am so sorry. Hope if anyone who's watching this probably watching it tomorrow, unless you're in a different time zone than me. But with that being said, again, apologies, just coming out super late. So I don't even know where to start with. You know what? Let's start with the whole messy love triangle foursome thing that's going on. And that is Michael, Chase, Willow, and Sasha. So Michael goes to see Sasha in the hospital, and they talk about her drug use, and I mean they kind of like blip over that a little bit. It's more like, please don't do that again. You're a lot stronger without it. The whole PSA message. But then, Michael, lets him know, hey, listen, my mom told me about this whole non-cheating thing that didn't happen. And, Sasha's like, it needed to happen, in order to get Wiley back safely. And here's the thing. I felt like Michael didn't lay into her as much as he would have if she wasn't in the hospital. And, the way he was there talking to her, I felt like it gave Sasha this false hope, that they're going to eventually get back together. Every time he looked at her, she was all like, oh, you haven't looked at me like this in a long time. And it was a lot of those things. And I don't know if Michael really knew, yo, she's kind of getting a little ahead of this whole thing. You might want to, tell her to slow her roll. But nothing really happened from there, He just went to go visit her in the hospital, told her about, hey, I knew, and that was about it. He didn't really lay into her as hard. And, again, I felt like he would have probably went into her harder if she wasn't in the hospital. Now, with the whole Chase and Willow thing, Willow asks Chase, why did you not, tell us the truth? Why did you not tell us the truth afterwards? And of course, Chase gives that BS answer that I really didn't like about how they didn't want to sit there and play God with people's lives, and he felt like it would have hurt her a lot more, and yada 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 yada. And here's where it gets a little tricky. So Willow pretty much tells Chase, listen. Pretty much tells Chase, that she's, starting to fall with Michael. She has an attraction, but I also love you. And, it was like this whole, I'm starting to fall for him, but I still have feelings for you. And, she even said, she was like, we don't know if we're going to go through the whole annulment or not. So at this point, it's like, oh, cool. So what you're saying is, we're not going to really get any answers tonight. Awesome. That's pretty much how I took it. Chase, like Sasha, read way more into it than, whatever was there. Which, from her, she's confused. From him, I still have a shot. Okay. Chase at the end was like, so should we hug? Should we kiss? Should we shake hands? And Willow's like, how about we just verbally say goodnight and just call it a wrap? I have no idea what the hell is going on with this whole thing, if they're going to get back together. I don't know. Sometimes I sit there and I look at that situation. I'm like, this is so exhausting and so a little bit forced, but also just a giant mess. I have words for that I'm not going to sit there and say, but we're just going to say a giant mess. With that being said, Michael comes back home. They take care of Wiley. Chase comes over to Finn's place, and he's smiling ear to ear, and he tells Finn the good news, and then Finn tells him that, he spent time with his dad and got to meet Violet, and so, Chase is over the moon. And I'm not gonna lie, whenever he's happy, he's smiling for some reason. It's like, even when it's bad and it's probably gonna end in disaster, like his heart is probably gonna get broken throughout this whole thing, it is nice seeing him just be happy and smiling and stuff like that. I don't know why, but it's like, when he's happy, it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's just that maybe he just has that I can't really quite think of it. I don't know if it's like that Captain America way, I think that's the best way I could sit there and describe it. Anyway, with that being said, because I just really can't describe it any further, Chase, well, not Chase, Finn and Anna were talking. I'm not gonna lie, it didn't really lead anywhere, except for the fact that Violet drew a picture, and Anna, like what Anna does, is, hey, listen, you should be close to your father for Violet's sake, I'm sure she has good intentions as far as, having Violet be close to her grandfather. I think that's all well and good, but this whole pushing Finn to be closer to his father, it's like she swears she knows what's best, and it's like, no, I'm doing this, it's the right thing, and she invites Finn's dad over without even asking him, and then it's just like, alright, well, I gotta leave, I gotta go and party, like, what? So you just invite him over, and whatever mess happens, alright, well, it's out of my hands. That's pretty much what I got from that whole situation. But, he met his granddaughter, and he told her a bedtime story, the same bedtime story that he told Finn when he was a child. So, and then Finn's dad told Finn, because I can't remember his name for some odd reason, that him and Jackie are separating. And he was like, no, it's not like, she had an affair or anything. And Finn is like, hey, That's pretty much the inner voice or the inner look that I felt like Finn was having. Because, the whole Finn and Jackie having a thing. Because reasons. And so, yeah. He pretty much just lets them know that they're separating, they're not getting divorced, even though Jackie's like, they're getting divorced, so they clearly are not on the same page. And then, Finn was like, so, you're in for a long flight, back to, Boston or whatever the hell you're from. And the dad's like, nope, staying right here. Finn is like, what about your classes? You're teaching and stuff like that? And he's all like, no, I can teach from here, so, well, I'm gonna be here, so, yay. And it's just the way that Finn just seemed like he just could not wait to try to get rid of his dad, like, so you got classes going on. He didn't even sit there and say, like, so, he literally was just like, well, so your flight's going to be in a couple hours, right? Like, wow, he didn't even actually have any tact, now that I think about that. But yeah, he's going to be staying at least until the wedding. So, cool. Now, Valentine was having a conversation with Dante. And Dante was being very standoffish. He was all like, oh, well, you're not going to use Lou's situation as, you can get full custody. And Valentine was like, yeah, I'm not about that. I kind of, because he wanted to sit there and try to sync up their schedules so that way Rocco and Charlotte could, still see each other and be there for each other. And, at first, Dante was just like, not going to lie, kind of being a dick. There was one point where Valentine looked at him. He was like, okay. And then he clicked his pen, and Dante had this staring off into space look. And that's when Valentine was like, yo, what's wrong with you? Like he literally looked with concern, like, what is going on? And he had that for a while, and then Dante must have snapped out of it somehow. But even when he talked, because there was one point where I think Dante said something, and Valentine was like, yeah, I really don't enjoy having my daughter cry every night for her mother. So finally, they decided to, sync up for a schedule and whatever. When Valentine left, because Valentine only left because Peter came in. When Valentine left, he talked to Anna. He was like, yo, you need to, strike up a friendship with Dante or hang out with him more, because I don't trust him around my daughter. And I gotta be honest, yeah, I don't blame him. I don't think that he'll do something to hurt, I was gonna say Charlotte, but there's a reason why Dante didn't come back right away, because he felt like he was gonna hurt Lulu and his son. So, yeah, with that being said, Valentine has, he has reasons, valid reasons of why, he's concerned about Dante spending any amount of time with his daughter. 100% agree. Now, Peter was talking to Maxie. I'm not gonna lie, didn't really go anywhere except for the fact that Maxie wanted to move up the timeline of their marriage, their marriage, of them getting married. And, he wanted to move it up. And at some point when Anna comes in, Maxie's like, so we should do a double wedding. And I'm like, what? Why? Even, I'm not gonna lie, even Anna was like, why would... And then, because Anna was like, alright, so this is about the whole Lulu and time is sacred and all that good stuff. I get that, but to be honest, Anna couldn't get an inch word in any conversation, because she was just like, alright, cool, so just tell Peter and, yada 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 and make it happen. I'm like, that is such a bad idea for so many reasons. I feel like having a double wedding is just watering down two weddings that really shouldn't be watered down. So I don't know. I mean, I know what she's thinking, I just feel it's a bad idea, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only person. What else? Okay, so I was reading in the comment section, and somebody, I think Sam, or J Carly, or Carly J, Jason Carly, I'm not sure, but she was mentioning that Franco might be getting back Drew's memories. Now, today's episode, when Franco was hearing a voice in his head, it was Peter's voice. It wasn't his own voice. It wasn't anyone, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't his own voice. It wasn't like an unknown voice. He knew exactly who it was. So he contacted, when Liz was in the room, first he tried to stand up for some odd reason after having somewhat brain surgery. He contacted Kevin, and Kevin was like, we should try this, Well, the minute that Kevin walked in the room, Scott walked in right after, like, hey, whatever you're doing, I don't like it. Just being defensive or protective or whatever. And Kevin was like, listen, we got a guy in Geneva that could, help you get some clarity on your memories. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the doctor again, because they're using the doctor. So that might be a possibility, and it's probably going to uncover Peter's dirty little secrets. Also, when this is after, okay, so Dante met up with Peter, and at first Peter was like, you need to take some time to be with your family, because, the whole Lulu situation, and Dante was like, listen, I need routine, I need a schedule, I want to work. And so he's, he just, he managed to convince Peter to, stay on assignment. So Peter was like, I'll see you in the morning. And then, when Dante was going to pay, Peter was like, no, this is a work thing. The Invader got this. The Invader is covering tabs on drinks? Really? I mean, they do that? Okay, cool. next time you're having a work meeting or whatever and you have alcohol involved, apparently that could be covered under a work expense. Maybe that just sounds dumb. Maybe that just sounds weird to me because I don't know how that stuff works, but okay. Feel free to tell me in the comment section if that's actually a case or that's an actual thing. But when Dante left, Dante was talking to someone, which was probably the doctor, and was like, you know, I don't remember what he said. I think it was like some sort of veiled threat to, like, you know, complete the mission as far as taking out Peter, whatever that meant. I'm assuming complete the mission means to kill Peter. That's just what I'm gathering. Yes, I think that's actually about it. I wanted to check because I know it's late and I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. And I don't think I did. If I did, please let me know. And if I did, I apologize. Also, apologize for this being so late. Taboo was acting slow and work was work, which was really long, and even longer than normal. But with that being said, throughout the week it's going to be business as usual, and since sorry for that pause. I had a dentist appointment that, well, I'm gonna have to sit there and reschedule it for next week, so that's awesome. I was gonna sit there and say, well, you know, I have a dentist appointment this week, so it's a possibility that I won't be pulling out a review because I might be in a lot of pain. But I guess I'm gonna have to sit there and save that for tomorrow. Wow, that kind of sucks. Anyway, with that being said, and that's actually not my fault too. Let's just say I made a certain message to a certain someone that just completely screwed that up. I feel better, somewhat. Anyway, with that being said, thank you for watching. I know this came out super late. Let me know what your thoughts on this episode is, and I will catch everyone tomorrow in the next review, which will be a hell of a lot earlier than this one.